powered by Riverside FM.
A race is to be the fastest from A to B. Simple. In running, that constitutes a whole range of distances, from sprints and middle distance events that take place on a track, to 5K, 10K, half marathon and marathon, which can take place on the roads. But why stop there? In more recent years, ultramarathons have become popular. Those events are events which are a longer distance than a marathon. So far, so simple. But these events are not very creative. How about we turn the whole thing on its head? Another type of race of growing popularity are time-based events. Instead of seeing who can be the fastest to cover a distance, instead see who can go the furthest in a set time. Among such events, time periods of 12 hours or 24 hours are among the most common, with participants often covering ultra distances over those time frames. But even this reversing of the parameters of a race is just one of several more creative race formats that are taking off. One such format is known as the Backyard Ultra. It works as follows. Each runner must complete a loop of 4.16 miles. This is lap 1. The twist is that they must then try to complete an additional lap on the hour, every hour, until they can no longer do so. The goal is to be the last person standing, or I should say running, i.e. the only runner to complete the loop after all of the others have dropped out. This person is the winner, and technically everyone else is a DNF, did not finish. And that's it. It's a deceptively simple format. You run a loop. If you have some time left, you can rest, but come the hour, you must run again. The format itself was derived by Gary Cantrell, also known as Lazarus Lake, with the first event of exactly this format taking place in Gary's own backyard in Bell Buckle, Tennessee, USA, in 2011. Gary is clearly a Yimby. He chose the distance of 4.16 miles because it is a 24th of 100. The significance of this being that if you run 24 loops, i.e. you survive 24 laps of an event, you will have run 100 miles. Achieving such a feat would typically put you in the lead pack, and in many circumstances would be sufficient to win by itself. However, performances have been getting more and more extreme, with the latest world record set by Phil Gore in July 2025 in an event in Australia. He achieved an incredible 119 laps. 119 laps. That is, of course, 119 hours, or close to 5 days, and he will have covered a total mileage of nearly 500 miles. It's a superb effort of physical endurance and willpower. It's hard to imagine anyone completing such a distance, especially when there is comparatively little to be gained for it. The motivation comes from a desire to be competitive and to push yourself to the limits. It's certainly not for fame or fortune, neither of which are a feature of ultra-distance events, which instead tend to go under the radar. These people are doing something entirely pointless, but they're doing it to prove that they can do it. But let's return to the duration. 119 hours, 5 days. It's 5 days of intermittent but relentless running and virtually no sleep. But it's not quite no sleep at all, because every lap, every hour, a participant does get a chance for a micro nap. If you are running 30 to 40 minute laps, you'd get something like 10 to 20 minutes every hour of rest by the time you account for the rest of the faffing around. Therefore, could the record be pushed even further? The longest time human has been without sleep is 11 days. 5 days is a long way short of that. Plus, you are getting the opportunity for micro-sleeps. But how useful would they be? Sleep scientists will tell you such sleeps don't allow for a proper recharge, nor for all of the important different phases of sleep to occur. And all of this is without considering the very significant additional burden of the running itself. So my expectation is that this will be a record which can be broken again, relatively soon in fact. But relatively soon, limits on how far this record can be pushed will be driven by sleep deprivation, and at some point, that nagging feeling that these participants really ought to have something better to do.